Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. 130, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, West Indians, Haitians, and the rest of the speckled bird. Let's give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honor to our elders and apostles of the great millstone. Also, the 144,000 under them, right? Speaking the same like-minded doctrine to get up out of here, knowing the times that we're in. I want to go into this lesson this video I just seen, and it's pretty much just Jake being his folly. Our people are lost, and they think that the streets is more important than the Most High. They just their upbringing. They've been beaten down so bad that they don't understand anything outside of what they've been taught. So I'm gonna get this lesson. Fair use only. Fair use only. Because I don't get paid off this. Whoever's channel this is that's coming from, this is only for edification purposes. I'll give you a thumbs up. But I just wanted to go in to show our people just how much of the folly that we've been going through. You got 70 views. So you're doing good. 13 hours ago is not bad. You got your first thumb up from me. So with that, we're going to go into it. And I just want to show this is how destroyed our people are. Okay, let's get it.
I already did 10 years behind this. I love the streets. Ain't no mother the streets just nigga criteria. Nigga, y'all disappointed me, boy. I don't understand it.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
This is our people saying that they love the streets. They love the street. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it. Let's go here with it.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
So y'all can hear for yourself. This is our people.
Don't be talking about the streets now, cause everybody snitching. I already did 10 years behind this. I love the streets.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Nigga, criteria, nigga, y'all disappointed me, boy. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. I don't understand it. I'm from the streets, nigga. Nigga, my grandma ain't say.
144. Anyway, I can't get my speaker to boom up, so it's okay. I'm gonna just leave it at the pace that the volume it is. Hopefully, Lord willing, you'll be able to hear it. This is individuals swearing they gave their all to the streets. They spent 10 years behind bars to the streets with no accolades, with no no love. This is our people being destroyed. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. This is our people being destroyed. Let me get a precept before we go any further. That love oppression. Isaiah. Isaiah 30 and verse 12. Wherefore thus says the Holy One of Israel, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because ye despise the word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. We gotta open that up. Verse 13 say, therefore this iniquity means sin on top of sin. What are you doing in the streets? The streets were set up by the government. You could say by the so-called white man. You could say by so-called sellout Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Right? They sold out. They gave you a picture and an image to destroy yourselves. For us to destroy ourselves. Drugs, indulging in certain acts, robbery, hustling, tricking. What else? what do they call it? Manipulation, manipulation, hustlers, hustling, finessing, all these things instead of just being real. Being real. Everybody wants somebody to be real, but the streets has never offered our people that reality. It's always been some kind of hoodwinking, some kind of supplanting. And that's one thing our people are good at, is supplanting. That's what Jacob, that's the name Jacob. That's why Jacob's name, that's why when Jacob wrestled that angel, his name was turned from Jacob to Israel, Yasharallah, Prince of the Power. And when we come into this truth, we're supposed to have we're supposed to be, through Yahweh Shai, we're supposed to become a new creature, just like Jacob did. Jacob became a new creature when he wrestled that angel to be a prince of the power. We're no longer these individuals that when we, we went off, we became like the rest of the world. We have our own world to seek after, knowing this truth, knowing and understanding this truth, okay? Isaiah 30:13, it says, therefore this iniquity shall be unto you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly and at an instant. While you in your security, while our people are secure, look at this. This is the attitude of a individual with no knowledge, no fear, and no wisdom of the Heavenly Father or His only begotten Son. Because
my granddad say, man, when y'all was doing the little shows, y'all niggas started popping out. Get what y'all niggas doing? Hitting them fucking clubs up in Alabama, Texas, you niggas in Florida, you niggas all over the world. And get who come to see y'all stupid? The motherfucking streets, nigga. When y'all keep seeing niggas talking about streets in the streets.
And it makes sense, right? Because most of these so-called rappers, like the Lord said, me and my brother Azari like to go into it. It said Ezekiel. I want to say Ezekiel. Let me get it. I want to say Ezekiel 20. I want to say Ezekiel 20. I'm just going off base what I learned the last time. I ain't going to be too long. Ezekiel 20. How the Lord's going to take your gift and use it for against you. Right? The water Yahweh Shai. Yeah. Ezekiel 20 in verse 13 it says, but the house of Israel, Yasharallah, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, but the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. But I was wrought with my Salakia. But I wrought, meaning worked, but I worked for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, in whose sight I brought them out. Yet also I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness. Okay, so he didn't want us to be, looked at amongst the heathen. That's why Moses went and told Pharaoh, hey, let us get out of here so we can serve our power. Because the Lord's about to be intimate with us. And he was. And we agreed with that covenant. All right. It says, verse 15, yet also I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land which I have given them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands, which is Israel. It was Canaan at first, but it was turned into Israel because of the inhabitants thereof. Verse 16, because they despised my judgments and walked not in my statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols. Nevertheless, my eyes spared them from destroying them. Neither did I make an end of them in the wilderness, right? Through Caleb, through Joshua, he brought back the children. It said, but I said unto their children in the wilderness, Walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols. I am the Lord your power. Walk in my statutes and keep my judgments and do them. I want to jump down to the point. Let me jump here. Because this is the point. As far as you hold on. As far as us, yeah, here it is. Doing our own thing. Verse 24 says, because they had not executed my judgments, but had despised my statutes, and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, in that they cursed and that they caused to pass through the fire all that opened the womb, that I might make them desolate to the end, that they might know that I am the Lord. So you're not out there, being a thug, being a gangster, being a trick, being a whore, and being a artist, a rapper, because that's what these guys are, entertainers. You're not being an entertainer and everything is going your way. You're being cursed in your own gift. Singing, dancing, which is really a form of, leadership. Because that's the same thing the men of the Lord are doing right now. We're singing a new song, which is actually an old song. But since we forgot it, it's new to us now. The song of Moses, the song of King David, right? Salvation, the salvation of the children of Israel through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, through, Yahweh Shai and, faith, obedience. But most of our people are stuck in this.
The streets can never be dead because the streets is reality for a lot of months. The streets was never supposed to be an option, nigga. It was never supposed to be no coup. Treaties. You feel me? Niggas be born into the struggle. That's their reality. And they gotta find a way about it. So these, you know what I'm saying? They getting this rap money, this YouTube money, this social media money, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Platform they develop to where they can make legitimate money. Of course, you should get out the streets. But Thug being a street nigga from Atlanta is what made us pay attention to him in the first place. You can look at him or maybe Dirk or maybe like different.
And what's wrong with change, though? What's wrong with change? You're supposed to become a new person. As you grow, you get older. You don't stay the same. And as you being the listeners of Thug and all these people, all these artists, they've been through, and as you've known for the past, I'll say 4 or 5 years, all these Ricos going out on your favorite artists, your favorite rappers that have been talking all this street shit. But y'all so stuck in this delusion. Matter of fact, the Lord said it was going to happen. Let's get it here. I'm about to close out in a minute. I got 2 more precepts I'm going to close out. They lie. They lie or lay in the corners of the streets. Right? Because y'all talking about being street people, street niggas, right? Street niggas. Here it is, Isaiah 51 and verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. Have you ever seen a wild bull in a net? You've seen a wild bull chasing people down in the middle of the streets. Have you ever seen those, certain countries where they have the bulls chasing people through the streets? Imagine a wild bull in a net. That's the mentality of our people in these critical situations where they don't have a place to stay. They were like wild bulls. They go out there robbing, stealing, killing in a net. They feel trapped, but they want to break out of it because deep down inside, they feel like they're being oppressed, right? It say, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. Where is the most of our Negroes, the Latinos, and Native Americans? Where are they at? In the head of the streets, on the corners, stop signs, selling dope, pimping, you name it. Attention at the drugs, at the corner store, at the liquor store. You tell me what liquor store don't have a couple of so-called Negroes or Latinos just chilling there like that's, what they do. The Lord picked our people out, and He told us these things are written aforetime for our learning. Okay. Again, it says they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in the net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, and the rebuke of thy God. So the Lord has rebuked us to the point where He put us out there as a example of what not to be before all the nations. You don't see the Chinese man sitting at the corner. I mean, you don't see a group of them. You might see one or two that know Joe and Ray and Smokey and them. But you don't see a whole group of so-called Asian men or a whole group of so-called, whatever, kind of man. Egyptians in the corners over here in America. It's mainly the so-called Negroes, Latinos, mainly our people. So again, that's the oppression of our people, that love oppression. The Lord said it's going to be a point where they're going to get that judgment. I'm going to go here to Ecclesiastes, and I'm going to close out. Chapter 5. Ecclesiastes, chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 8. I had to get this in the NLT because it makes more sense. Verse 8, it says, I'm going to start in the KJV. It says, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment, and justice is in a province meaning a place in the streets, the cities, the hood, the ghettos, the barrios, say, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. And when you go to NLT, it says, don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. For every official is under orders from higher up. The matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Let's bring that definition. Bureaucracy. A system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives. And see, that's the beautiful thing about looking into definitions. Bureaucracy. What's about to come is what the Lord's about to set up is a righteous judgment, a righteous system in the earth. Yahweh Shai being, the government is going to rest on his shoulder. He been given how to judge righteously and not according to appearance. He know the ins and the outs of every individual, right? The true intents of an individual, of a person. Manipulation is going to be gone. War is going to be gone. Backstabbing is going to be gone. All the things that's prevalent in today's world, in today's society, is going to be a afterthought when Yahweh shall return. Right, and it says, this is bureaucracy. It's a system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives. And the Lord is raising up his elect right now. Elected representatives. That he's going to bless them with the heart, with the mind, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and the obedience of Yahweh Shema Shai through faith forever. Forever. By the fear, that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the fear of Yahweh Shema Shai through these elected representatives is going to be established in the earth. That way, a perfect kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness, where a lot of people really can't even see this world being that way. But everybody want it to be that way, but they don't know, through the form of a lack of faith, they don't even know if it's possible because they lack faith. But a bureaucracy is not going to be, according to the future. Let me get back to that. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Again, it says, verse 8, don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land, for every official is under orders from higher up. Right? And we know that goes into, Amalek, the small hats, all these things that are going on around us. The elect we don't have no dog in the fight. We don't got no dog in the fight. Our hope is being patient and waiting for the Lord to say, okay, it's time. That's all we can do. We have no power in our hand. The only power we have is through faith, through believing in the word of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's the only power we got. But that's the only power we need at the end of the day. All right? It's for every official is under orders from higher up, and no one can go outside the order of what the Lord wants them to do on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. All right? Say from higher up, the matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Even the king milks the land for his own profit. Those who love money will never have enough. How meaningless to think that wealth brings true happiness. And you can see that happening in the world today. All these people that get all this money, all these accolades, they'll tell you themselves they're not happy. No matter what they obtain, they're not happy. They can have all the cars, all the riches. They got to maintain it. And what they got to do to maintain it? Work. Do side, things. Give up their integrity. Give up their ass. A lot of these entertainers, whether you know it or not, some of your favorite entertainers, they played what one brother used to call it. He called it the casting couch. They played on the casting couch. They did that shit and try to make it look good, but now the truth is going out, so they can't hide from it. Anyway, fuck the streets is the new revelation they putting out there. It's gonna be a whole. This also goes into not trusting your brother. The Lord is setting this up just perfect. The Lord is setting this up just perfect. Let me see if I can get that precept. Then we're gonna close out. Salakia. Those of his own household. Yep. This is Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world is being called Jesus. Matthew 10 verse 34, it says, think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. I am come to send a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. Okay? That's what this is being set up. All these people, once upon a time, they all knew each other, loved each other. The so-called streets. Now they're all enemies. This is the Lord's doing. This is the Lord's doing. And the Lord say this, as it is written. Don't do that to me right now. Don't do that to me right now. That's the last one I'm going to get up out of here. Who? The spirit be on, man. The spirit be on. Who can resist his will? Romans chapter 9. And I'm going to go through verse 18. It's speaking about Pharaoh, right? You remember in Egypt when Pharaoh, you know, he told Moses, go ahead, leave, take your people and get up out of here. The curses y'all got going on, too much for me and my people is too much. I can't accept this. But what the Lord do? The Lord hardened his heart to do what? To come after the children of Israel. In verse 18 it says, therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will harden, and whom he will, he hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why do he yet find fault? Right? Why the Lord find fault in somebody doing his will? Right? This is the point. He said, who have resisted his will? Nobody has resisted the Lord's will. If he wants you to be wicked, you're going to be wicked. You know, because he searched your heart. He know what you want. He going to give you over to your lust. Let me see. Let's go there. So you don't think that the Lord is unjust, right? Say not that the Lord tempt. Yeah, see that. Right? No, it's in Luke. I want to say it's in Luke. I believe it's in Luke. Is it 4 or is it 1? I'll take 4. Maslaki, it is James. Someone told me James 1. James 1 and 14. No, we gotta open it up. James 1 and verse 13 it says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he tempted any man. Neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Okay? So the Lord don't sit there and make you do evil. You are already drawn away by your own lust, by your own deceits. You know, and a lot of our people that's in the streets and thinking that they, they in a good situation or whatever, you pretty much, you love oppression. You know, you lack knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. As is written in Hosea, what's that, chapter 4? My people are ignorant. You know, they for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Let me see. I know I keep saying I'm gonna close out on that, but hey man, and the spirit should be going, man. Hosea chapter 4. Verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Okay? And this is the outcome. Generation after generation after generation. Our people have been destroyed except for the elect.
2 ways to save up to 20% on your business insurance. Go to Firebrook.com or just give us a call.
Shut up.
Maybe like different rappers that had legal situations, you feel me? And your story of what you had to say, the swag that you developed and everything you picked up, being from the street, is what made a nigga pay enough attention to you for you to have these platforms to make this legitimate money. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all treating it like an option because a nigga can if he want to.
F the streets. Now, my biggest thing with that is that when I first came to Atlanta, I knew Atlanta was just about being players and getting money and just the love, and we kind of got out of hand, and now we going in the right direction. How do you feel about that, even that slogan, F the streets, and what does that mean to you?
I feel like it's a beautiful message to put out, you know what I mean? I feel like the unity of the city is needed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The people need to see that like, sometimes things might not go as good at first, but we can always patch it up. And that's what I just see for it.
Right.
Patching it up and like, especially for us as rap artists from Atlanta, you know what I mean? Black men saying that, it's very powerful because the message could be pushed out wrong for what we do.
The backlash started the moment the phrase F asterisk the street began circulating publicly, especially after it was echoed by Young Thug toward 21 Savage. What might have been intended as a warning or a signal of personal growth instantly turned into a larger cultural argument. For many listeners, the phrase sounded less...
No, I ain't gonna listen to this guy, what he gotta say to try to make things look seem. It's period, point blank. The streets ain't never did nothing for our people. This land has never did nothing for our people. This government never did nothing for our people. Repent, return back to Yahweh Shemiah Shah, and learn to do your best to do what he say, and not what this system say, man. Because as we read in Isaiah, those that love oppression, the Lord gonna, he's gonna come down on you. And the streets, drugs, and all this bullshit is a form of oppression. All right, with that, I'm gonna close out, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Chakadash, and double honor to our elders and apostles, great millstone. Peace and salutations again to you, hopeful elect. Endure, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, Ratazah, endure. Kwame Sharala.